Welcome to Dakota's Spooky Decor. My first project will start us off with a Glam spider pumpkin wreath. I've seen quite a few awesome projects done with these wire pumpkin frames from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using orange and purple party beads and wrapping them around some of the sections of the pumpkin. I found the easiest way to do it was secure one end of the beads with the glue and then twirl it all the way around and then secure the bottom and then go back in and add glue to all the points where the beads and the wires meet. Now that all my beads are attached, I'm going to be using some creepy cloth, also from the Dollar Tree, but you can pretty much get it anywhere. I'm going to secure it to the frame using clothespins and these little clamps. The pink and silver clamps are from the Dollar Tree and they work great. I love them so much. And now using hot glue, I'm going to adhere the creepy cloth to the outer wire of the pumpkin frame. I need to get my hands on some of those little like finger covers, those silicone covers you can use when you work with hot glue. But for now, a popsicle stick worked great. Once the hot glue is dry, I will trim off any excess creepy cloth that I don't need hanging off the back of my frame. Now I'll be using these gem spiders from the Dollar Tree to hang from the inside of my pumpkin. I'm going to start by cutting off the back ring part of the spider. Now, I do wish that I had fishing line for this project, but I'm trying to just use the things that I have on hand, and some thread worked perfect for this as well. So after I cut a few pieces of my thread, I will be securing them to the back of the spider with hot glue. Again, make sure you let this dry. To attach my spiders to my pumpkin, I am just tying the thread to the top of the inner part of the wreath so they'll hang down the back, kind of look like they're inside of the pumpkin. Now, when you hang it up, the spiders do move around a lot. I do have to kind of slide my hand under the wreath to fix them how I want them to look. A good idea might be to double up on your spiders, get 2 packs instead of one. That way, as they twirl around, you'll see a gem on either side. I didn't do that because I didn't have enough of all the colors that I was using, so I'm fine with how this looks, but it's just a thought of something you could add to it. Now, I watched a YouTube video to find out how I wanted to make my bow for this wreath. I'll link it down below. But I took 2 different patterns of ribbon with wire in them from the Dollar Tree, and I'm cutting 7 pieces to be 23 inches in length. And then once I have those 7 cut, I dovetail the ends. Now, when it comes to bow making, I don't have a lot of experience. I'm still kind of new to it, but I am really happy with how this bow turned out. I think it's super cute. Now to measure and fold the ribbon to get the kind of bow we want, I measured them from the top of where the ribbon bends to the tail at about 8 inches, and then at the 6 inch mark is where I scrunch it together. And I keep doing that and scrunching them all together so they're all the same measurement. The video I will link below will describe it way better than I will, but it was pretty easy. And using what I have, I secure the bow using a small black zip tie, and then I will also use another one of those zip ties to attach it to the wreath itself. But before then, you want to make sure you fluff your bow up. That's what's going to make it look good. And here is my cute, spooky, glam spider pumpkin wreath for Halloween. I think this one turned out really cute. I like the classic kind of purple and orange scheme. I think there's a lot of fun textures going on in this one. I really enjoyed making it. Project number 2 is our Home Sweet Haunted Home wreath using this wood wreath from the Dollar Tree. Quickly going to take that piece of twine out and put that to the side because we are going to use that to hang it back up. And before we do anything else, we need to paint it black. Now, one quick coat should be good enough for this project. I do go in with a paint pen and a tiny brush just to try and get some of the inner edges of the pattern. And then you'll see here as well, I think it was just from the moisture of the paint, but the back is peeling off. That's not a huge issue though. It's not going to stop me from using this for my project. Once the black paint is dry, I'm going to dry brush with just a little bit of white paint to try and give it some contrast, make it look like maybe there's some light shining out of those windows. Um, the outer part doesn't really matter too much because I am going to be covering it with some flowers, but of course it's up to preference and whatever you want to do with the project. Now that won't take long to dry at all, so then I will go in with these cute little bat lights from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to bend the wire away from the little bat so that I can poke the bat through the holes of the pattern and parts of the house to kind of make it look like they're flying around. This is a battery operated pack. It takes two double A's. There are no batteries in it when I hot glue it to the wreath frame, and I'm careful not to get any glue on the wire now or when I'm adhering other things to the project. So once that glue dries, then I will quickly unscrew it, get those batteries in there, and then we will see our baddies light up. Now I'll be adding these Halloween eyeball flowers around the battery pack. Again, being careful to make sure the glue is on the wood frame and the stem of the flower and not the wire or the battery pack. I'm just trying to be super careful. But this was one of those situations where I had to take a step back and be super patient because you don't want to move the project as your flowers are still drying, the glue is still drying. I did that and I had a lot of flowers fall off, and I just had to be patient and make sure everything dried before I moved on to the next piece. I do like to plan out the placement of my flowers and leaves before I glue them on, just to give myself a little bit of a guideline of what I'm looking for. But from there, I always end up adding things. You'll see I also use pieces of a little fake black succulent and also little plastic pieces that fell off of some fake floral, some fake Halloween floral. And I'll be adding those around to kind of give it a spookier floral kind of vibe, almost like an Adams Family garden, you know? To cover the top of the battery box, I did glue a black rose to either side of the top corner, but then I used some black leaves to glue over the top of it just to hide it. But again, the glue is on the wood frame and not on the battery box itself, because if I need to, I can kind of peel everything back and unscrew that top and replace those batteries. I also add some little spiders that were a part of the Halloween floral as well to the flower petals around the battery box, and then it kind of looks like they're crawling up to the house. I think it's super cute. And I'm just about done with this project. One of the last details I want to add are these little twig pieces from the Halloween flowers as well. And I'm just attaching them to the back of the house to kind of make it look like there's a little spooky woods. This is probably my favorite detail about this wreath. It's so cute. Now let me just reattach my piece of twine to hang it up. And here we have our Home Sweet Haunted Home wreath. I really like how this one turned out because it looks good in the daytime, at nighttime, not lit up, lit up. It's very versatile. Very cute. I really like it. Now you've seen 2 wreaths. There are 2 more to come. Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorite. I think I have a favorite, but I'm not going to tell you till the end of the video. Now for project number 3. This is a very subtly spooky, witchy, autumnal vibe. I don't even know if I said that right. Autumnal? That's a hard word to say. Anyway, using this twig wreath from the Dollar Tree and some other random twigs that had been repurposed from wreaths, I'm going to be building out the width of this by just attaching the twigs into the pre-existing yarn that or twine that's already holding the wreath together. Then using this berry garland from the Dollar Tree, I will be wrapping that around my twig wreath to adhere everything together and make it nice and tight and snug. And I think it also adds a really nice dainty detail and some nice color. I'll be attaching an assortment of styrofoam pumpkins that I have on hand to my wreath. You can purchase these from the Dollar Tree or other places for pretty cheap, I'm sure. Now, when I do my wreath patterns, I try to do everything kind of opposite of each other, but then just slightly off. So it's not perfectly symmetrical, but it's almost just so close. I'll be adding random leaves as well. These are just from some sort of floral that I had, and I really liked the light green and the yellow on them for this project. And then from the Dollar Tree as well, I have a fall potpourri, and I'm using the little acorns and pumpkins from that potpourri to attach to my wreath as well. I have this cinnamon broom from the Dollar Tree that I will be attaching to the center of my wreath. Now I'm going to take this faux fall floral from the Dollar Tree and wrap some twine around the top of it to make it look like a little bunch of flowers or herbs that is being hung up to dry. The finishing touch for this wreath is this cute little bird skull that I ripped right off a cute little bird skeleton from the Dollar Tree. Not a real one. Come on now. You can pretty much get them anywhere these days during season, though. I know you know what I'm talking about, those little plastic skeleton animals. I almost went with a mouse skull, but in the end, stuck with the bird. I really like how it turned out. I think it adds that perfect little touch of spookiness. And this one will probably be hung up on the door in November. And of course, I'm just adding a piece of twine to hang it up. And there it is, just a cute little spooky witchy wreath. Very easy, very simple, and very subtle spooky vibes. Really like it. And now project number 4 is the Beware wreath. This one was so easy to make and turned out way cooler than I thought it was going to be honest. I just took a plastic spider bowl from the Dollar Tree, from Walmart, you can get them everywhere, covered that in some creepy cloth, and then using some Mod Podge, I'm going to be covering the whole thing so that fabric stays in that bowl. I'm sure you could use regular Elmer's glue for this as well. Mod Podge is just what I had on hand, so that's what I used. And then again, those adorable little clips, they work so well for so many things, and they're like a buck. I totally recommend them. Once that dried, I was very impressed with how it came out, and I added some twine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rungs down, so that we could hang that on the wall. It's time to cut up a skeleton hand for this project. This hand was purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I am just cutting the fingers off at, I guess, the knuckles, where that would be. Because we're just going to be reattaching them with hot glue to give the hand more character, make it look bent. There's a ton of videos on YouTube about different ways to do this, I guess, but honestly, just have fun with it. All I'm doing is reattaching the bones at an angle to make the fingers look like they're bent. That's all. Super easy. It is going to leave gaps around the knuckles just because of the way, you cut and reattach the plastic, but I do cover that with some creepy cloth once it's attached to the wreath. And this is one of those situations where, again, I had to remind myself to be patient and just let the glue dry completely. And it's not even like I have to wait that long. It's hot glue. But this is some really hot glue, so it takes a few minutes to dry. But just let it dry so your whatever you're gluing is in place. When I go to attach the hand to the wreath frame, of course, the glue is dripping out the back. Using rolls of tape came in handy for a lot of these wreaths to kind of hold them up so they wouldn't get glued to the table. But I use a popsicle stick and just cut a small chunk of that and glue it to the back so that the hand and the glue all have something to adhere to, and that worked out great. To hide those cracks in my knuckles, I'm going to be draping a piece of creepy cloth over the skeleton hand, gluing it where I need to, cutting it to make it look creepier. Just work on it till you like it. This little beware metal sign came from a pack from the Dollar Tree. I believe the other two in the pack say haunted and scary. I just used some black paint, a little too much black paint, and dry brush that over the sign, and that takes no time to dry. And then I will glue that into my wreath using the hot glue as well. Now the last thing to do is add that electronic tea light candle, not a real one because it will catch on fire. But look at that. That turned out so cool, and it was such a simple wreath to make, super cheap. And I have to tell you, this is my favorite out of all four. I love all of them, but I think this one really is my favorite. I might keep it up all year because it's really cute. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below which wreath you liked the best. I really appreciate the support. Like the video, subscribe. It means the world to me. And until next time, stay spooky.